Do you still believe that aging and disease are inevitable laws of nature? The truth is, a massive toxic waste has been silently clogging your body for decades, fueled by the very 5 dead foods you are still eating every single day. Hello, I am Dr. Ethan Marshall, a 60-year-old health expert from the United States. There is a brutal truth I must tell you right now. Most of us do not die of old age. We are digging our own graves with our spoons and forks every day, only to accept pain as an inevitable part of the human condition. But I am here to affirm that you can absolutely live your twilight years disease-free. Before we dive deep into the secret, if you cherish your health and want me to continue sharing valuable natural healing knowledge, please take a second to hit subscribe, like, and share this video with your loved ones to support me in producing more quality content. Let's be honest with each other in this moment of silence. Do you feel your body becoming increasingly heavy? Not just the number shown on the scale, but a sluggishness in every step, a slowness in thought, and those dull aches every time the wind turns? We often click our tongues, assuming it's the unavoidable law of birth, aging, sickness, and death, that when stepping over the hill of life, this biological machine must break down. But as someone who has spent a lifetime studying the human body, I want you to know that pain and disease have never been the normal state of life, no matter how old you are. We have lived too long in a disastrous misunderstanding. We believe that disease is an enemy attacking from the outside, like a germ, a malignant virus, or simply bad luck. But the truth is much deeper than that. The real enemy lies right inside your own body. Look at the reality of modern life. We are living in an era of unprecedented material abundance. We eat too much, constantly consuming lavish feasts. Yet ironically, the body is starving for true life energy. We are busy consuming, but forget the most important process: cleaning up the waste. This makes a body, after 60 or 70 years of never being truly cleaned, become like a house filled with old furniture and dust, clogging the pure flow of life. And that very obstruction is the source of all the physical suffering you are enduring. Before moving to the next part, I want you to ask yourself and share your view in the comments section by choosing one of the 2 following answers. A is, disease is due to age and fate, unavoidable. And B is, disease is due to the accumulation of toxins from a wrong lifestyle and can be reversed. Let me know your thoughts. Professor Arnold Ehret, one of the greatest teachers of natural healing, left us with a truth so simple it is stunning. Yet it is the key to decoding all physical suffering. He affirmed that every disease, no matter what fancy name modern medicine gives it, from high blood pressure, rheumatism, heart disease to incurable conditions, is essentially just different manifestations of a single cause: obstruction. Ehret called this state constipation, but please do not misunderstand. This is not merely difficulty in daily bowel movements, but the constipation of the entire piping system in the body, from the largest blood vessels to the tiny capillaries and every single cell. Our body is essentially a complex, elastic piping system, and when these pipes are blocked by mucus and waste, the flow of life stagnates. To clarify this, I want you to remember the great formula of life that Ehret summarized. V equals P minus O, where V is vitality, P is power, and O is obstruction. We often mistakenly think that when we age, we are weak because we lack power. So we try to supplement and take stimulants to increase P. But the harsh reality is that we get weak because the obstruction O in the body has become too great. That obstruction is the mass of mucus, toxins, drugs, and dead food residue that has accumulated and stuck firmly to the body for decades, creating immense friction that hinders the smooth operation of the biological machine. Thus, no matter how much energy you take in, the actual vitality is still neutralized. Sharing this view, Dr. Norman Walker, who lived healthily to over 100 years old, likened our colon to the sewage system of a bustling city, tasked with collecting and eliminating all refuse. Imagine if this sewage system were clogged. Waste could not escape. It would rot, ferment, and toxic gases would have no other way but to seep back into every home, every water source. Our body operates exactly the same way. When the colon is covered by a thick layer of mucus and hardened feces from many years, it is no longer an organ of elimination, but becomes a giant bag of toxins, continuously pumping poison back into the blood to feed every cell. This phenomenon is called autointoxication, meaning you are poisoning yourself every second, every minute, without knowing it. And that is the deep root of aging and the slow, painful death that we still mistake for fate. Look down at your dinner plate tonight and ask yourself whether what you are consuming is a source of life or a burden. Because, according to my view and that of the predecessors, there are 5 main food groups that we mistakenly believe are essential, but are actually diligent masons, day and night plastering layers of toxic mortar into your body. The first and most controversial culprit is meat and products from animal carcasses. We grow up with the belief that meat brings muscle strength, but biological reality tells a different story. When entering the long digestive system of humans, which is designed for plants, meat is not digested cleanly, but begins a process of decomposition and putrefaction, producing countless uric acids and what Professor Ehret bluntly called pus. That is why after a heavy meat feast, you often feel sleepy and exhausted, not because you are gaining energy, but because the body is mobilizing all its reserve vitality to process and eliminate that pile of toxic waste. Next are dairy products like fresh milk, cheese, and butter, things we praise for calcium, but forget their chemical nature is to create sticky glue. Recall what old-fashioned wood glue was cooked from if not dairy products? And in your body, they behave exactly the same way, creating layers of mucus adhering tightly to the intestinal lining and causing severe clogging of the lymphatic system, leading to constant swelling and inflammation. The third and fourth enemies often go together: white flour and white rice. These are starches that have been stripped of life and their precious bran layers. When mixed with gastric juices and water in the stomach, they transform into a sticky, gooey substance no different from the wallpaper paste we often use. This paste coats the intestinal walls, paralyzes the nutrient-absorbing villi, and is the leading cause of halted peristalsis, leading to chronic constipation. Finally, processed fats like refined oils, refried grease, or margarine. These are no longer natural foods but foreign objects to the human biological structure. They cannot dissolve in the water of the blood, but float around causing flow obstruction, forcing our aging hearts to beat harder, faster, and struggle many times more to push thick blood through the narrow crevices of clogged blood vessels. All these dead foods are the raw material source creating the massive weight of obstruction that is pressing down on your life. After bravely looking straight at the truth about the toxic burdens silently destroying the body, now is the time for us to step into the most important journey, the liberation and restoration of the sacred temple you reside in. The first solution, and also the prerequisite foundation I want you to seriously consider, is colon cleansing. Do not let fear or shyness stop you from accessing this truth, because both Dr. Norman Walker and the ancient teachings in the Essene texts honor the cleansing power of water. We cannot clean a house filled with mud using only a feather duster. We need water to wash it away. Colon irrigation is not merely about supporting the excretion of ordinary waste. Its ultimate goal is to soften, peel off, and expel the crusty mucus layers and fossilized residues that have clung to the intestinal walls for decades, helping the intestinal lining to breathe again and restore the ability to absorb nutrients. The next step in this revival process is practicing fasting. This is not the act of starving the body negatively, but stepping onto nature's operating table without the knife. a miraculous healing mechanism that the Creator has bestowed upon all living things. When you stop putting food into your stomach, you are sending a truce signal to the exhausted digestive system, allowing the body to divert the massive energy source usually used for processing food to the work of cleaning, repairing damaged cells, and flushing toxins out. Start gently by skipping breakfast or practicing periodic 24-hour fasting to feel the relief seeping into every corner of your mind. Finally, to maintain the results of cleansing, we need to apply a smart and patient transition diet. Instead of sudden changes that shock the body, start gradually replacing dead, mucus-forming foods with living foods carrying the energy of the sun. Fresh fruits with their powerful cleansing properties will act as solvents to dissolve sticky mucus, while green leafy vegetables and cooked vegetables act as brooms sweeping coarse waste out of the digestive tract, returning the body to its inherent biological balance. Finally, we must honestly admit to each other that the path to finding true health has never and will never come from trying to stuff the body with expensive supplements or chasing after flashy external medical therapies. The truth of natural healing, as the masters before us have pointed out, always lies in the art of letting go and elimination. This means health is not addition, but subtraction. It is the relentless effort to minimize obstruction O from the body. Imagine you own a top-tier racing car, but the engine is seized with sludge and dirt. Even if you pour the world's most premium fuel into it, that car cannot roll with its inherent speed and power. Your body operates on the exact same principle. If we refuse to clean up the internal blockages, every effort to nourish is just a useless waste, even creating more burden for a system that is already overloaded and exhausted. I want you to view your body not as a soulless machine, but as the most sacred temple the Creator has bestowed, the only dwelling place for your soul in this lifetime, and the ultimate respect you can show that temple is not empty prayers, but the decisive action of stopping the transformation of it into a dumping ground for dead foods, toxic waste, and wrong living habits. When you start treating your body with love and deep understanding, when the blood flowing in your veins is purified of slimy residues and old toxins, a true miracle will happen not only physically, but also spreading to the depths of the soul. A clean body is the most solid foundation for a clear mind and a peaceful spirit. Anxiety, sorrow, or brain fog will gradually dissipate along with the expelled mucus, returning to you the clarity and inner peace that you have long been busily searching for in the outside world. That is the secret of revival. Not holding back time on the wrinkles of the skin, but unblocking the flow of pure life energy from within, helping you enjoy your twilight years not in the endurance of disease, but in the joy of a full and meaningful life. Start the journey back to the eternal laws of nature starting today, because you deserve a life that is truly healthy and free. The journey to reclaim health does not begin with seeking a miracle drug from the outside, but from a deep understanding of the internal operating mechanism of the body. We have realized that disease and painful aging are not destiny, but the consequences of the accumulation of mucus and toxins over decades of dietary and lifestyle errors. The 5 food groups that modern society still commonly consumes, such as meat, dairy, refined starches, and trans fats, are actually clogging agents, creating immense resistance that suppresses our vitality according to the formula vitality equals power minus obstruction. The key to liberating the body lies in courageously eliminating dead foods, practicing colon cleansing, and fasting periodically and correctly. When you wash away physical filth, you simultaneously clear the flow of energy for the mind and spirit, returning the body to its inherent clean and free state. The greatest lesson we need to engrave in our hearts is the art of letting go and returning to nature. The human body possesses wisdom and extraordinary self-healing abilities, but it can only function when we stop loading it with toxic burdens and give it a chance to rest. To apply this philosophy to reality today, you do not need to change everything radically. Start with a small but firm step. Replace your heavy daily breakfast with a glass of fresh fruit juice or whole fruit. This small action will be the first positive signal, allowing your digestive system a precious moment of silence each day to begin the work of cleaning and restoring energy. Of the 5 mucus-forming food groups we discussed today, which one do you find hardest to give up? And do you plan to replace it with a natural alternative in the coming week? Please share your thoughts sincerely. If you wish to delve deeper into natural healing methods and receive detailed instructions to start this journey safely, please fill in your information in the form I left in the description section to receive a gift. A passionate ebook on healing health that I dedicate to you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with your loved ones, because that is the most practical way to support me in continuing to spread these good values to the community.